Hello, everybody. Welcome to LSEIT Corner. And today we're going to do something which I think we all need, especially when we are in a working environment where we need to analyze what traffic actually hits our web servers. And maybe we even want to sell it as a white label product. What do we have which is out there? We have Google Analytics, we have competitors out there. But what we're talking about today is Matomo, and you can do Matomo in two fashions in two ways. And we're covering in this video the Matomo on-premise version. So when you go to matomo.org, you find right away some of the people which are using it, but you can see how many people are actually using it. And when you click on the on-premise version, you can actually download it and use it for free. It doesn't cost you a cent or a dime. So what you can do is you can actually install it quickly on a web server, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. And with that, you can actually get quick analyze on what's going on. I'll show you a full demonstration how it works and how we're going to do it in multiple setups. So today we have already it downloaded and installed. The way you're going to do that is you bring up your SSH, you go here to one of your folders. We're here on the Atlanta server like we've been before, right? And you download it into either the temp folder or wherever you want. So let's do this quickly. We go into root folder. Where in there you see that I already had downloaded it, but what you do is you just use this download link. Where is it? As you can see, I did a couple things. And so this link is the one you just execute. And that grabs always the latest version which is correctly available for production. And you download it, it just downloads it, and then you have it sitting on your server already. As you can see, there's your version latest, and that's the version. So I renamed my version so that I know for the future what version it was. I downloaded it. So what you can do is you can just do an MV, so move it from, let's say, this version to this version, or in this example, let's do the one, right? And then you look at it, there it is. There's your version downloaded. Now you have it documented. So if you need to reinstall it later on, you already know which version it is. We don't need that file, and good is. What you can do is now you can either unzip it, or you can do what I quite often do is I just go into a Midnight Commander and I just open it because I want to see what's really open so I can put it directly into the right folder structure. So in this case, I wanted to have it in var analytics, and that's where I installed it. And so I just went in, hold the insert key down so you have it, right? And here you can see what it was called before, pwick. So that's the old name of Matomo. Matomo got a name change a couple of years ago, and since then it's known as Matomo. So and then you just hit F5 and you copy it over, right? And then you can say no, and you can say all. So and it would just copy it. So we don't need to do that. Uh, keep abort, keep. So we already have all that, so we don't have to do anything there. We already have everything copied over. It's already installed, meaning copied, but not finalized. So the next step you have to do once you have it, if it's just your web server itself and nothing else is running on it, then it's just default, right? It works very well with Apache, it works very well with NGINX. I use it on NGINX because for me, I prefer NGINX over Apache, but you can do it in different variations. So let's go over into var and just look what we have. So I created the folder called analytics, and in there We have all the files. And what I've done, as you can see, there was the core and the config, which was already overwritten now again. I never really did anything with it. The one thing you need to do is chown and grab it for your user, column, group, star dash uppercase R. So once you ran this command, this one here, then what it does is it renames everything recursive. So the uppercase R is for the recursive and star is for everything. So it renamed everything, gave it now to the user and group correctly. And now the web server, in our case, the NGINX, will be okay with it. So what I've done, and I did a little bit already up front just to get us going and chasing a couple of things. I'll consult and consolidate all the notes of this video again and put it onto my other web server where we're actually sharing all the notes from all the videos. So when you go through this video, you can follow step by step through, but all the notes are stored there, so you can just run through there. And if you need something, it's all saved there, what you need. So now in here in NGINX, you have your sites which are available, right? And enabled. So what we do is we go into the available and we go there and we see that we created us something different from the default because I want to run it on a specific URL, which points to here. So I created that with a copy from the default. And what I've done in here is very simple. I left everything the way it is from the default. So port 80, I just removed the default server and just left it as it is. I changed the root over to analytics because that's where it is. And then the import is the server name and the URL. So if you have a DNS set, you set the DNS on your DNS server and whatever host name you want to use, that's what you're putting in. So this one is called analytics.globalclouddata.services. And you're going to do exactly the same configuration, even with a fast CGI port 9000. Same thing what you have default wise, what we've done in previous videos. Everything else you leave default. You do an NGINX, which tests your configuration, and then you just restart the service. That's pretty much it for now on the server side. So the next thing you have to do, you go to your actually server and you type in your analytics global cloud data.services in this case, and you come there. And if this is all correct, then you're seeing this screen right away. If you are seeing errors before, that means either your PHP is not set up proper or the user rights are not set up proper. So you'll get a screen which shows you that and you fix it. But once that is there, then you're good. And that's where we start now. So here you click next, then it will go through and actually check your system if everything is good. So go through the list and make sure everything is checked green. If something is not green, like this one is wrong, you see that? Because there were just, when we unzipped that patch, we found that there were two files which got corrupted out of that result. And that's why I wanted to bring this up. So if you have something like that, that means by whatever you unzip, something was corrupted in that. So you go back to your zip file and you do those specific files again. We're going to do that here in a second. But look everything else to be correct. We don't do an SSL here right now. That's for something later. And we also have, yep, we have the FPM FCGI running. So that's all there. Everything else looks good. Our version is good, right? So there's an information about it, but everything else looks good. So let's see that we get this fixed because we had some issues there, okay? So what we do is we go back and we're looking at now var analytics core menu first. Let's look at the first one first, top menu, right? So we're going there into root again and we MC on it. We put it on and we said, this is where you can jump back and forth. core menu, menu top, core menu, and there's your menu top. So now we look on the server side in the unpacked version already. What went wrong? So core menu, menu top. Ah, there it is. So there was one file which was not correctly extracted and it caused an issue. So now we're going to correct that by copying it over with an F5 and override it. Then we go on to it and we can also say here quickly chown, and we can change it to data right on the go. There it is. We do it on the group side as well. Looking through the alphabets, and there's data. Done. So the user is set for that file too, right? So now we know that that file was corrected. So now when we refresh here, it should disappear. So let's see. You see, that file disappeared. So another file, which is the quick form 2. So core quick form 2. Let's see that we get that one covered too. So core quick form 2. There it is. So we go here, one file up. We're looking at quick form. If I know the alphabet, it would be nice. There it is. Also a blank, right? So same procedure. F5 override. We go over here. We go into file, and we can change it here. Or this is the other way, right? So you go into that folder, var whoops, analytics core, core. So, and we have here now the situation there. We can see with an LSA that the quick form has the wrong user rights and group rights. So we can do again chmod uh, data data, and taking the folder name. What you can do is in Putty you can just double click on the name and then right mouse click, and it will copy it down right there, and then you have it already there, right? So did I do something wrong? Yes. Mod, no. It has to be own. Okay. Chown. So now we have that, and we just redo it again. We can see now that one is also corrected. So this way, if something like that happened, this is how you can fix it quickly. So now we check, and it should be okay. You see, everything is now okay. That's how it should be. But if something is, work through it step by step till everything is clear. Once it's clear, you go on to next. So now in this case, we have the database. We have a login and we have a password, right? So do we want to do it like we did before in a couple videos ago, right? So what we can do is we go and say, oh, shoot, I didn't remember that anymore, but I don't need to go to the information on the YouTube channel because I know. So you come here onto our website and you go to the IT corner and you look. There was your setup where you do your WordPress. And here, when you click on this, you're coming back to the YouTube video, by the way. And here you can see what we've done. And here you can see what we did on the database. So we can take it from here and we hop over and say, okay, we're going to go back into the database, right? We're in here. Let me see that I get this a little bit taken out for us here for a moment so that you guys can see it better on the screen. So we have that, and we're going now between these two screens back and forth. So we want to create something, right? What do we need to create? Go back here. So we need to create the username, password, and the database. So what do we want to create it with? So let's say we want to call it analytics. What is our prefix? What's our adapter, right? So we can change PDO MySQL or MySQL I. Then we can also change MySQL or MariaDB. In this case, we want the MariaDB because that's what we have, but this is where you change your database engine. So now we need a user and a password for that server, right? So the analytics database, we all want to create it. So we're going to take that and say, okay, we did take a user. We don't create the database, but we take the user and we go over there and we want to create the user on that server. So we're putting our password in, right? Make it more secure. Now that one is created, now we need to grant it privileges, and we're going to grant it right now, like so. But instead of WordPress, we say analytics. When we do this for this user, which we call WP admin, right? And we fire it up, it will set it fine. So now we created that user with that password and everything. But in order to make it active, we need to still flash it. So now we have flashed it. So now we know VP admin is created. We know the password test1234, right? So we go back here and say, okay, this is there. So VP admin and test1234, right? We just set it there, 1234 test. So with that, it's there, and you say next. So couldn't connect to database server, database access denied. Why is it denied? So what do we need to do? There's a little bit of a help when you do that, and you can actually go to Matomo's website itself to find it. Let me see where my tab is here. So what you can do is you take first, and that is the official FAQ, how to install it on premise. So you take that, you go there, you put it in, you put your database name in, and you created it. Now the database is created. Now you create your user. Already, we already did that. And then you have to create the grant selection for it. So let's do that. And so we're saying here, analytics. And it's not Matomo, it's VP-admin in this case. Okay. Now we flush the rights again. So now we go back where we left the form. We have everything still setting. Now we say, let's see if that works. Couldn't connect to database. So what else do we missing? All right, we're back. So when you run into that situation that something is wrong, you then can't connect. A couple things you can do is you can reset your password. So what you can also do is testing it. So now I did this quickly off to making sure what I do is actually correct. So let me show you what I've done. As you can see, I typed in MySQL -u for the user, VP admin, -p and then analytics. So, and when that password was not working, even I had used the right password, it will give me a denied, 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 denied. I said, what's going on? So when I now got finally access to it, what did I have to do? I had to do this. So when I created the user, somehow the algorithm or the password was written incorrectly. So I just had to alter the user and re-enter what I entered before, which is vp-admin at localhost identified by password test 1234, and just set that up. Don't have to do a flush privileges or anything. And then now I can also log in just fine. So this is what I tested quickly. And then I'm in. So now we are good. We can go back to our installation, say localhost bps test 1234 analytics. We can say next, and it will connect. That sometimes can happen. When it happens, it's always a nightmare to figure out. Um, just happened to me, so I had to quickly look at my notes. What was the workaround to reset everything? Everything's good. Everything is in. Perfect. Tables are created. Everything is good. Now we create the whole thing. Now we can use a super user. And like what we used before on the other side, we used a non-common username as a super user. So don't use an admin, don't use a sysadmin, don't use something too easy to guess. So I use sysadmin, and then I use my password, which is very secure. It contains uppercase, lowercase, special characters, numbers, and everything with it. So now I just put my email quickly in. Yeah, it's already completing it here automatically. Do I want to subscribe? Do I want to have anything of that? No, I don't care. Go on. Now I can create and give it actually a website name, right? I don't want to save it. So website name and so on. So I can add my first site. No, it's the website itself. So this is analytics. What's my website? Can I do an HTTPS? Can I do an HTTP? Yep, I want to do just that. And I take what I already preset, copy it over with an S, of course. Time zone. Let's see that we get New York, right? And so where is Antarctica, Central America, Europe, North America? And so in this case, I want United States. And was in the United States, I want to have New York. So that is my local. And then say e-commerce, yeah, e-commerce enabled because we're gonna have that later on in place. So here's my first tracking code, which I can use. I don't care on this because I don't need it. I just go through it, say next, congratulations, you're done, configured, continue to Matomo. So now you're gonna log in with your credentials. So what did we create? I can use my email or I can use my username. So if I don't remember, oh, what was the username? So I know it was this and password. Did I misspell it? Let's see if that happened. No, I just butchered something, but I'm in. So once you're logged in, you see exactly this, where you can see what else can you do. So you can either do now the next step, and this is where we can do two things in WordPress. So we have our WordPress, which we installed from a previous installation. I'll show it for multiple setups, including Odoo, because this environment here, for example, where you go to illuminate.info, that runs on Odoo. So I'll show you in Odoo and I'll show you in WordPress and how it would be in general. So back to here. So install with Matomo Tag Manager. No, I don't want to do that. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? No, I want to have the easiest one for me, which is the JavaScript. So here's my JavaScript, and I just copy it as is right now. So copy here, copy to clipboard, and I can install it for whatever I want, right? So in this case, I could do it for my analytics and test the installation, but I don't want to do that right now. So I go back and say, okay, I don't want that. I say all websites in this case. I say, okay, I don't want to do my analytics and monitor that one. So I add a new website, which is more common. So what is it? It's a website. Okay, what's my website? So let's do our WordPress installation here, which is running on this IP address right now, right? We didn't give it a name, so that's something you need to consider doing. Now we do that and call that marketing .info because that's what we're going to give it later on. What is the URL? It's that URL, right? And so can we do multiple? Yes. So we give it the HTTP and the HTTPS. And then everything else we can say, oh, good, good, good. No, excluding, no, we don't want that. E-commerce website, no, it's not. Maybe we do. Enabled. Turn off visit logs of visitor profiles. No, no, no. The rest, okay. Save it. So now you see that you already created a second track code. And that's what I wanted to show you guys because that's where it becomes now interesting. When you have multiple sites, and as you see, I didn't copy anything yet on the tracking. I'm just looking at what it is, and I can change things. And if I did something which I don't want to keep, I can go here now and just delete it. So again, your website shows which websites you have. Nothing is recorded yet, so that's why it doesn't show anything further yet. You can go into the setting here in the administration section, and you go then to your websites here on the side. Click on websites and you click manage. So now it brings up if you want to do something new, it will tell you how to get an SSL certificate. But regardless, right now, we have here two things set up. And if you want to remove now the analytics, because this one we don't want to track ourselves, we can go there, we can put in actually our master password, which we just logged in with, and then we got it removed. I don't want this to be recorded ever. Thank you. So now we are on this one. And now we go and say, hey, I need this tracking code actually. I go there and then I can look at it again. Here it is. So I can say I want this, or do I want to do an image tracking or whatnot, log analysis, etc., etc. There's a lot more which can come with it. So in our case, we want to do it not with any installation guides. We don't want to do it with anything else, right? We just want this JavaScript and we just want to copy it as it is. And now we go back to our dashboard and then our dashboard sees and shows nothing is there. Hide page for an hour. We leave it, right? Now we go over in WordPress and do something over on the WordPress side offline as a preparation, but I want to show you what I've done. It's nothing big. All I have done is I looked actually through VP Code Lite. This plugin will allow you to do a lot of insertion into your website without much of a knowledge needed to do coding because all you do is you copy paste and you put it in your place. But you have the capability to go full blown out when you go and get the pro version to actually get all that code also loaded into files and segments. There's a lot you can do with it. So VP Code is installed right now. Let me refresh. This is our website, and we're looking right now quickly at our page source. And as we can see in here, there's nothing which matches anywhere our source code. Here we go. So we're looking somewhere for something where it calls for Matomo. So there's Matomo right there. So when we're on here and we're actually looking with Control F, uh, oops, and looking for Matomo, there's no Matomo right now, right? So now we go back and go into our plugin and we go to the VP Code Lite section, which is called down here Code Snippets, and say Code Snippets, add snippet, header, and footer. So in this case, we want to go into the header, and we can go in the header and we can say, okay, we want to add this into the header section, right? That's one way to do it, and then we have it in the head section. Not the smartest way. Best way, either you go within the body or somewhere else, but the best way I found out is to go into add a snippet and say add your custom code and say, okay, it's a JavaScript code. Go in, copy it in. Now you have your whole thing in. As you can see, there's the script notification already prior to that, so we don't need that. We leave everything else in here. Everything looks clear and good. Nothing to worry about. It doesn't need the script ending here because it will take that automatically. So we have all that now loaded in here. We want to have that as an auto insert. We say by default global site wide. You can change it into different section. You can say site wide footer. That would mean the website has to fully load first before it gets recorded. We want it in the beginning, or we're gonna go specific. In our case, just that. Now we say we give it a name. Matomo Analytics. And then we're gonna save it. Now it's saved and created, but it's not active yet. So even if we now go back here and we actually do a refresh on this, it would not show the code yet. So if we go here and we do refresh the whole thing and we look at it and we say code, find, Matomo, still nothing, right? Because there's one other thing you have to do, and that's the beauty with this plugin. You can turn them on and off as you see fit. There, now we updated and turned it active. Now it's activated. Now when we refresh this page and we go now into the source find, now we see, oh, we see it 5 times. So now we look where it is. There it is actually. So the code is now already in the website, implemented and live. Very easy to handle, very fast process. And with that, you can do a lot of things. So if you want to use instead Matomo, you can use any other code with it as well for this plugin. You will use that a bunch of times throughout the video series because it has multi-purpose uses and it simplifies it because now when you have it all done, you go back, you go at your code snippets, you can see, right? There is already things you can use to disable, enable, right? So there's a lot of things you can do with it, and we'll dive more and more into it as we're moving on. But now we have that first page recorded, and so when we now look here, we just did that. We go back and we say, okay, now I want to go back to the dashboard. Now our dashboard shows already up because we just accessed the website for the first time. And with that being accessed, now you can see already how it's working. So there's going to be a second part for this where we're going to go then once we have some data here collected and can actually go through what needs to be done but this is pretty much the sum up for the installation. So when you have now another page and you go through all pages, let me show you what's going to happen. So now we have the marketing creator. I still have to do the DNS work for it, but another website, we say this is LSE, that is HTTPS. This is just the main lumanet.info, and we're gonna do that for both to handle crap. And there, gonna do that, and then we do the unsecure, everything default, nothing excluded, everything in, and enable is also in e-commerce, and we say the rest is the same. Okay, perfect. Good. Now we have that already created. So when we now go back into our dashboard, you already see that there's now a drop down. And so here you can see nothing is showing up for LSE because it's not installed, but marketing is already showing. And when you say, oh, shoot, I did a typo in here, something is wrong, I can always go back into here and can actually look what I have, and I can also go to the target. Or if I say, okay, this name needs to be really changed because somehow it got miswritten, you can go back into your managed websites here and you can actually edit it. So name marketing, let's do it just marketing, right? Because we know it's all for Luminet. So now it's called LSE marketing. And so when we now look back at the dashboard, we have now the marketing here and there's the LSE. So that's how you can change things quickly. We'll dive more into it as we see, but this is pretty much how you do it. And again, thanks for watching this short video. Hopefully it helped you a lot how to actually install it. It's not really a rocket science. Um, there's gonna be a part 2 when we collect some data here, which is gonna show then how you can actually do analyze and marketing strategies out of it and what you want to look for. Like when you have somebody here, you can look at who's the visitor. It tells you a couple informations about it. Tells you how it got there, which URL. Right now we see it's just the IP address, right? And we can also go here in the visitor log and we can see here where he's coming from roughly. That's not always accurate, but it will point you even to certain areas. You can see real-time traffic. You can see here the map. Oh, there's the map, right? So it gives you things and it will give you then more information as you can see. And it pulls it from a geo IP too, and it also shows you what's really going on in details. We'll go more into that with the part 2, where you then gonna see real data which were collected from this server and my main web server, so that we can actually look at some real data and actually look at it, how we can analyze and how we can take benefits of it. Again, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe this video. Thank you again, and have a beautiful day.